Learn about the problem of changing the subject when challenging an argument.
What do you mean when you say that someone changes the subject?
Let me answer your question with an example. Let's say that two friends, we'll call them Nikki and Tom, are sitting together in the school cafeteria finishing their lunch. Tom has been trying to convince Nikki that they should skip afternoon classes so they can sneak off and catch a new movie that has just opened at a local theater. But Nikki isn't buying Tom's idea. Here's her argument against skipping class.
Tom, those afternoon classes are really hard, and I need to be there so I can participate in the discussions. The last thing I need is to fall behind and fail those subjects.
She also reminds him that the punishment for skipping class is a 2-day suspension, and neither of them can afford that.
Nikki's made a strong case for staying at school, right?
Right. So how should Tom respond? He could try to address her concerns about her schoolwork and the risks involved in skipping class, but he doesn't. In fact, he secretly admits to himself that she's probably right. Skipping school is a bad idea for the very reasons she stated. But he still wants to see that movie. So what does he say?
I thought you were my friend, and where's your sense of adventure?
Do you see what he's doing? Tom has changed the subject by attacking the person making the argument, not the argument.
So, are there other ways that Tom might have changed the subject?
Yes, there are several ways. Let's go back to the conversation between Tom and Nikki. Suppose that Tom, after listening to Nikki's argument, had responded in this way.
Come on, Nikki. You shouldn't worry about missing those classes and getting behind, because you know your friend Gwen will take good notes and let you copy them. And as for getting into trouble for skipping, remember that your father is good friends with the principal. Most likely, you would just get a warning.
Here, Tom again sidesteps Nikki's argument by focusing instead on other factors that he hopes will influence her decision. But these factors, her friend's willingness to share class notes and her father's relationship with the principal, do not address Nikki's concerns. Remember, she needs to participate in class, and she wants to avoid facing punishment for skipping class.
So Tom is still focusing on things other than her argument?
Right. And let's consider yet another response Tom might make. What if Tom had decided to point out to Nikki that she doesn't always practice what she preaches?
I can't believe you won't skip class just because you're afraid of falling behind in language arts and math. You told me just the other day that you often rush through your homework assignments so that you can watch your favorite TV shows at night.
Again, attacking Nikki by pointing out the difference between what she says and what she does is simply another way that Tom can change the subject to avoid addressing her argument.
So we should try to recognize when someone is dancing around the point of an argument?
Absolutely. Who you are or what you do should have no effect on whether an argument you present is true or false. Let me give you one more example, a variation on the problem we've been talking about. This one is called style over substance. Let's say that Tom had responded to Nikki in this way.
Look at me, Nikki. You know I'm right about skipping class and going to the movie because I'm looking you straight in the eyes and telling you the truth.
Now, it's true that the way we present our arguments can influence how they're received, but Tom's statement suggests that he can ignore Nikki's conclusions and persuade her by the way he responds to her. He's hoping that his style, looking at her directly in the eyes, will be convincing, even though his substance is not. No matter how intensely Tom gazes into Nikki's eyes, he has still changed the subject. And it's not likely to work.